check, hello. Check, check, hello, hello, check. Check, check, hello, 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 check. Check, check, hello, hello, check, check, hello, 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 check. Check, hello, check. Check one, check. Check microphones. Check one, check, hello, 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 check.
Test, 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 test. Hello, sound test. Hello, test. Hello, sound test. Hello, test, test. Hello, sound test. Hello, test. Hello, sound test. Hello, test. Hello, test. Hello, sound test. Hello, test, test. Hello, test. Hello, Sound test. Hello. Test. Hello. Test. Test. Hello. Sound test. Hello. Test. Hello. Test. Hello. Test. 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 Hello. Sound test. Hello. Test. 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 Hello. Sound test. Test. Hello. Test. Hello. Test. Test. Hello. Sound test. Hello. Test. Test. Hello.
हेलो, ठीक है, क्लियर क्लियर, ज़्यादा शार्प तो नहीं? Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. The CDS has arrived already, so I request you all to settle down. Kindly settle down, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, I request you all to take your seats. The CDS has arrived and he will be amongst us soon. So I request you to take your seats. Kindly settle down, everyone. Kindly take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, General Anil Chauhan, Chief Defence Chief of Defence Staff of India is amongst us. So I request you all to kindly settle down. Please take your seats, ladies and gentlemen. The Chief of the Defence Staff of India, Gen. Anil Chauhan, is amongst us now. Please take your seats, ladies and gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed officers, brave soldiers, young cadets, distinguished guests, and dignitaries, good morning. It is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome you all to the final day of the 9th edition of the Military Literature Festival, a celebration of valor, history, and intellectual discourse. On behalf of the Military Literature Festival Association, I extend a warm welcome to General Anil Chauhan, the Chief of Defence Staff of India. To introduce General Chauhan, General Anil Chauhan, PVSM, UYSM, AVSM, SM, VSM, currently serves as India's Chief of Defence Staff, CDS, bringing with him over 44 years of exemplary service in the Indian Army. An alumnus of the National Defence Academy, he was commissioned into the 11th Gorkha Rifles in 1981. He has held several key operational and strategic appointments, including Director General of Military Operations and General Officer Commanding-in-Chief of the Eastern Command. Appointed as the second CDS of India in September 2022, General Chauhan holds a unique triple-hatted role: Chairman of the Chiefs of Staff Committee, Secretary of the Department of Military Affairs, and Principal Military Advisor to the Honorable Raksha Mantri. His leadership is defined by a forward-looking vision focused on integration, modernization, and jointness across the armed forces. Under his stewardship, over 200 integration initiatives have been launched to transform the Indian military into a future-ready, cohesive force. He has introduced pioneering concepts such as the Future Warfare Course, the Run Samvad Seminar, which is a dialogue among war practitioners, and the IOTE framework. His tenure has also seen the publication of multiple joint doctrines and strategic documents that lay the foundation for integrated theater commands. As Secretary DMA, he has driven reforms in operational structures, capability development, and HR policies, securing key approvals from the MOD and CCS. A strong advocate of Atmanirbharta in defense, he has also played a vital role in enhancing India's defense diplomacy, especially in the Indo-Pacific region. A prolific author, General Chauhan has written extensively on strategic and military subjects, including Aftermath of a Nuclear Attack, Military Geography of Northern Borders, and the Ready, Relevant, and Resurgent series. I now invite Lieutenant General T.S. Shergill, Chairman of the Military Literature Festival Association, to kindly come up on the stage and deliver the opening remarks.
Ladies and gentlemen, can the AFPI hear me? Other children at the back, the NCC, can you hear me? Okay, let's get it going. It's okay. Fine. I'll come to that. Ladies and gentlemen, officers, and the wonderful children who have come here to honor the Chief of Defense Staff, who sits at the very pinnacle of our great armed forces of the nation. I bid you welcome, sir. The General has been through life as a complete soldier. And he came into a regiment that after the First World War was disbanded because, like many others, amalgamations took place in 1923 after the First World War. And later, on the 1st of January 1948, it was re-raised in fire. It was just 2 months and a few days after Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir had been invaded by what was termed then as Razakars and the Pathan, Pakhtun tribes, etc. Of course, that was a cover story. Since then, I think the General must be very, very proud. The regiment has a Paramveer Chakra and many other awards, and he has added to them in great measure. General, you asked me what do we do? And our very prime duty is to educate the youth of the Tri-City and indeed India about the defense services. And when we talk about military history, because that's what we are, military history literature festival, this includes anything to do with the military, painting, poetry. As you well know, the longest poem on battle is the Mahabharata, and it far eclipses Homer's Iliad in length, and I would dare say in content. Interestingly, in both of them, one of the central figures is a lady. And in another great opus, the Ramayana, again there's a lady. We have to remember that our great nation is not just comprised of the male people, the females too. And in many parts of India, the females have fought shoulder to shoulder with their men. So what do we do here? Yes, we tell them about military history, we tell them about geostrategy, we tell them about military industrial parks, we talk to them about technology. Sometimes, and actually within our little circle, when we are forming the panels, they do tell me, this is a bit high sounding. I tell them no. For the guts, blood and valor, we have another vehicle, in fact 2 of them. One of them is the Samvad, where 1,000 children come every day and they're talked to and they interact with Gallantry Award winners. You can't get any closer to blood than that. And also we have what is called a Clarion Hall Theatre, And in this theatre, we have short films about the armed forces, about regiments, about battalions, about operations. And I do say unfortunately, because a large part of the children, they disappear from here and they get into the theatre. And it's difficult to get them back. What else do? We do an outreach. We are now going to universities. We used to go to Patiala for 3 years running. But we've just been to Punjab University and Punjabi University. We'll be shortly going to Guru Nanak Dev University in Amritsar and many others. Now the advantage of this is we don't per se have to go to a university. There are colleges that are attached to the university and we can go to the colleges too. What is the message? The message is broadly for the nation. What is the other message? The other message is to be a warrior. Warriors are not killers. And that is the message. You can be a warrior wearing uniform in the armed forces. You can be a warrior as a doctor. You can be a warrior as a teacher. You can be a warrior in the civil services. But the journey is long, hard, and tough. And it's a journey as a warrior without end. When you take off your uniform, you don't stop being a warrior. You remain a warrior. And I can tell you, that's difficult. But you have to go on. The journey itself is your reward. This is the 9th edition of the Military Literature Festival. And so what did we do in this? Of course, the normal things were, we had the Samvad, we had the Clarion Call Theatre, and the children loved to see horses, so there was a bit of display of horses. They simply loved the dog shows, and so there was dogs too. There's a food court, there's an art exhibition, there's a philately exhibition, there's an exhibition of the Lahore Darbar, all kinds of paintings and prints for them to see. And so all in all, as somebody told me, a very senior person, he'd come here for a panel discussion. And he said, I'll just break into Punjabi and you'll have Jagbir explain it to them. He said, General Saab, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਿਰਫ ਪੈਨਲ ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਵੱਡੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ, ਇਹ ਮੇਲਾ ਵੀ ਹੈਗਾ. So it's also a fair, for the young people to come here and be happy, eat good food, this kind of street food they like, and be part of this huge community of ex-servicemen. I think there must be, God knows how many ex-servicemen in the Tri-City. What we did this time in the panel discussions with 3 themes. And the first theme was about things that we did when we were much younger, heartland and rimland, theories that were of about 100 and 120 years old that have suddenly come to life in our neighborhood. Because you have North Korea, China, the Central Asian states, Iran, Russia, in a soft, loose coalition. But this loose coalition is tied tightly with another Silk Road, the digital Silk Road. They are digitally integrated. They are all together. And the other surface and maritime Silk Roads are there too, and linked right up to Iran, and I dare say to Pakistan too. We know the BRI exists there. And all of them now have an access to the warm water ports of the Indian Ocean that the Russian bear was seeking during the great game of the 19th and 18th centuries. We also discussed in very great detail multi-domain warfare and the new parts of it that have come together. And we had discussions on the air aspect, we had discussions on the naval aspect, we had discussions on the army aspect, and the discussions were such, not theory, the discussions were what will happen today. And the other theme that we had was the 1965 war, the operations that took place. What are the war plans? Was there a deception plan? What happened? How did we stand on our war plans? How did the Pakistan stand on its war plans? But again, the entire intent was on what happened then. Could that be done today or not at all? Great changes have come. They say the nature of war has changed, but I say the methods of war have changed. When Alexander the Great fought his battles, if he defeated the opposing commander, he had won a battle or a campaign. If he had defeated a king, he had won a country. So even today, the real heart of whatever you do is to get at the head on the other side, and now it's so much more real because things will be happening in space, at the tactical level, at the operational level, at the strategic level, and there will be also in a form total war that you've seen, where unfortunately warriors have disappeared and you're shooting at people from a distance, more like a video game. And you know, that aspect of warriorhood seems to have gone. Kill, kill, kill. No blood. 65. There's one aspect of it which I think you'll be very, very happy that I allude to. All these battles, the major battles were fought in Punjab and what used to be Punjab. And these were major battles. You had Asalutta, where about 62 Patton tanks were destroyed, although the figures go up to 93 and 99, not realizing that all tanks of the area that were destroyed were brought together at Pikiwend as the Patton Naga. 196 tanks were destroyed in the Sialkot sector. And there was very, very heavy fighting in the Chamjaudia sector, and the only reason is that is the Doab, the Ched Doab, that opens out into the heartland of Pakistan. And they always have to defend it by a fence. But there too, they were held. But what came out of this that I want to stress upon? Two things. Pakistan had come into Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir, in 10 groups, each headed by a brigadier, and each with about 3,000 people in so-called civilian uniforms or whatever. And it was expected by Pakistan that the Kashmiris will rise for them. They did not rise. They were with their homeland, they were with India. And they helped in finding them, catching them, and killing them. The other thing I want to tell you about is we fought as an army, fought for a nation. There were two Paramveer Chakras. One in Asalutta, and it was won by, that's like the VC. It was won by Havildar Abdul Hamid. And he was from 4 Grenadiers. And in the Sialkot sector was the second Paramveer Chakra, won by Lieutenant Colonel A.B. Tarapal. So you had a Muslim Havildar and a Zoroastrian Lieutenant Colonel who won these 2 awards. This is our country, united as one, and it's especially the Armed Forces of India. Thank you very much, and I'm sorry if the general thinks I've spoken too long, but I now invite him to kindly come up on stage. Give him a big cheer, please.
General T.S. Shergill, serving officers, veterans, NCC cadets, students of various schools, ladies and gentlemen, people from the media, people from the academia, a very good morning to all of you. And let me begin by saying that it gives me great pleasure to be here at this Chandigarh Literary Festival. I've been asked to speak on Heartland and Rimland Pass in multi-domain warfare and India's strategic centrality in the emerging world order, partly alluded to by General Shergill in his opening remarks. I found this to be a very, very interesting kind of a topic because it combines the geographical location of a state in the context of its strategic importance and then extends it towards modern warfare. The subject is not only academic in nature, but also highly relevant, considering that geopolitical events which are unfolding in front of us and the technological transformation the world is seeing. The subject actually, if you have a look, is largely geographic, although the Chandigarh Lit Festival focuses only on history, sir. And let me say that it's a saying, sir, please don't mind, that people who don't understand the geography will find them condemned by history, sir. Geography has shaped human evolution and military planning since antiquity. An ancient Greek scholar, Herodotus, had said that all history must be treated geographically and all geography must be treated historically. There's a close connect between the two. We also know that what is present today, including this particular seminar, is likely to be history tomorrow. So in a fact, what we are doing is every day creating a future history. So the classical doctrines of Mackenzie's Heartland, Chanakya's Mandala, and the geographical realities expressed in the doctrine of Mahan have sculpted destinies and defined the reaches of empires. Even in the present era, Tim Marshall, in its famous book, Prisoners of Geography, said that the world map is not simply a canvas of borders, but a cartography of ambition and then constraints. For over a century, the struggle for global power has been, in essence, a struggle for control of geography. the seas, the continents, the skies. And if you look at today's context, it extends towards space, cyberspace, and cognitive domain. The location of nation states and its physical geography determines the ability to project power and exercise strategic options beyond its size. Look at two small nations, Djibouti at one end and Singapore. Both lie at Bab el Mandab and Strait of Malacca, which are not only strategically important, but also important for trade. Similarly, have a look at our nearest maritime neighbor, that's Indonesia. The number of states which connect the Pacific and the Indian Ocean, that is Sunda, Lombok, Malacca, and Ombiwatar, all pass through there. So not only Indonesia can exercise influence over trade which passes through these important straits, but also in case of conflict, it should be able to control overseas and undersea traffic passing these waters. Coming to some specifics of heartland and hinterland theories, geopolitical dominance, I believe, can be exercised through control over continental landmass or through maritime space. Alfred Mahan's seminal work on influence of sea power upon history, the heartland theory of Mackinder, and Spikeman's rimland theory, they all have to be seen in the context of the time when they were actually written. The first one actually was Alfred Mahan's. When he wrote his influence on sea power, that was, I think, at the beginning of 19th century, and he advocated that greatness and prosperity are inextricably linked by sea power. He argued that command of the seas and the arteries of commerce dictate the fate of powers, right? And he gave examples of the Britain's control of outposts to the American command of the two oceans. This was followed by, we all know, the Mackinder's heartland theory, and he suggested that the control of Eurasian core, which stretched from Volga at one end to Yangtze or to the other, Himalayan mountains to the Arctic, anyone who controlled that particular space would control the world. He actually said, allow me to recall what adage he used was, that who rules Eastern Europe commands the heartland, who rules the heartland commands the world island, and one who rules the world island commands the world. This particular saying encapsulates strategic imperatives of consolidating continental mass and resources. So basically, Mackinder relied on mass and security, where consolidation and control decided land power. A Spikeman's theory, which was presented almost about half a century later in 1942, posits that control not of the continental interior, but of the coastal arc that emanates from Europe through Middle East to India, control of that particular area is important, and anyone who controls the rimland will be able to control the world. Between the three men, Mahan, Mackinder, and Spikeman, they created a triad of what we can say geopolitical wisdom, with Mahan emphasizing on the logic of sea power, Mackinder highlighting land power, and Spikeman giving us a balance between these two. Let me contextualize these two theories in the context of India and our immediate adversaries, that's Pakistan and China. So ancient India was self-sufficient in all kind of resources, and probably that's why we developed a kind of an insular outlook. India was very well protected by the Himalayas, mighty Himalayas in the north, and the Indian Ocean region towards the south. So India's culture, religious beliefs, and its doctrine of peaceful coexistence that spread through the passes of Hindu Kush and the Himalayas to the north and across the Indian Ocean to Southeast Asia, and this all traveled through travelers, traders, and teachers. There was no physical conquest involved. India's political subjugation also came through the same openings in the Hindu Kush and by the discovery of sea routes to India. So history tells us that for the long-term security of India, India will have to have both a continental as well as a maritime outlook. However, if you look at the geopolitical events of the 20th century, India's partition, the coming out of Pakistan, our war with China, forced India to have a continental kind of an outlook. But if you have a look at India's geography, I think it tells us that India is both a continental and a maritime power. So we are a continental power because of a huge landmass. We are a continental power because a large amount of our population resides in the heartland. We are connected to the Asian landmass physically. We are a kind of a maritime power because of a peninsular shape jutting out into the Indian Ocean region. We have 2 island territories on the flanks, which provides us a huge amount of depth and security to the mainland. And if you have a look at the large number of countries which are resident powers in, say, Indian Ocean region, most of them are small littorals or countries which are on the east coast of Africa, also significantly small. So India enjoys a predominant kind of a place in Indian Ocean region, and hence we are always a first responder, preferred partner of choice for any other country. So herein lies the importance of India being both maritime as well as a continental power. But it's the quirks of history actually which has made us look towards the continent, and yet it is the same continental landmass that actually hinders our growth. In the sense, if India wants today, it can't travel west. Even if we wanted to send aid to Afghanistan through the overland route, it's not possible. We can't travel north because Chinese are there in Tibet, and we can't travel east because Myanmar is perpetually embroiled in some kind of an ethnic kind of a conflict. So if we can't travel for trade anywhere else, then the only way left for us is towards the ocean. So if you have a look, India actually is like an island nation. Means we only can look towards the seas, and I think long-term future or the destiny of India will lies in the seas and not on the continental landmass. Let's have a look at what does China's geography states to us. China, again, like India, presents a geography which is both continental and maritime in nature, and it's got huge continental depth and access via Pacific to the East and South China Sea. So it's, in fact, because of the geographical distribution of population, actually Chinese, unlike India, that's largely on the coastal region. So China could be called as a rimland power or as a continental power. So, and as I talked about their human geography, which is largely concentrated towards the coastal areas, the coastal areas are also far more prosperous. They are known as the Golden Coast compared to the hinterland. However, if you look at historically, China has always looked for trade through the land route and not through the sea route, except on one occasion where Admiral Zhang He actually traveled to the Indian Ocean region. Another case in point is the fabled Silk Route. If you have a look, that was again during the Tang dynasty. Actually, they looked at the overland routes to trade through Central Asia and to Eastern Europe. So China's coastal development is vulnerable if you have a look geographically, because it is ringed by countries like Russia, Japan, Philippines, and Taiwan. And this kind of constraints its maritime ambition. The articulation of 9-dashed line or the 11-dashed line in South China Sea and the militarization of artificial islands are response to these vulnerabilities. It is effort of China to overcome these constraints of geography and establish maritime dominance. In fact, China really focuses on development of navy. It also is an indicator that this is a geographical challenge which they particularly face. And hence, China is always looking at rearwards, the BRI initiative through land routes, development of rail, pipelines, etc., to Central Asia, towards Eastern Europe, and this is where it always looks. So historically, there's a precedence towards that. And if you look at the geographies of both the countries, how there was striking similarity in the sense when I said that we can look at the Indian Ocean region and there's really no competition amongst us. Similarly, for the continental part, the moment Xinjiang and beyond, there's no competition as far as the Chinese are concerned. So naturally, the progression will be towards the continental approach. I wanted to talk about Pakistan, but I think that will take quite a bit of a time. I wanted to explain its geographical implications. Its layout is such that it lacks strategic kind of depth, and being very small in size and really do not have any kind of a maritime role as far as the geography is concerned. So they have a restricted role, and it will always have to live in alliances for its very survival and future. And that's what we see actually. It's happened in the past, and it's happening historically, presently also. I also want to talk about future as far as control of oceans is concerned, and that's control over two oceans. That's a theory which I've heard, so I thought I'll share with you, that it says that to be really a global power, a world power, you need to actually control two oceans. So it was Great Britain which controlled not only the Atlantic, but also the Indian Ocean region. And they controlled Indian Ocean region by having outposts in Eden and in Singapore. That's how they were able to exercise control over what they considered as jewel in their crown. And if you look at the United States, it's enacted the Two Oceans Navy Act in 1940 and built a fleet to control not only the Atlantic, but also the Pacific. Chinese, as I said, they're constrained by their maritime geography, and they really have to break out of those islands which surround them. That's a problem. And I think the natural choice would be to have a control over the Pacific, but more towards the Indian Ocean region. And these activities, what we see in South China Sea, are a precursor to that particular aspiration of theirs. So having deduced the geopolitical imperatives for India and its adversarial neighbors, let us now examine the importance of geography as it exists today in the current kind of a context. I think that the rapid march of technology suddenly eclipsed the importance of geography. Some technologies are actually making geography kind of irrelevant, if you have looked. Say one is, and especially in context of war and warfare, and that's the kind of subject which I've been told to speak. So if you have a look, the application of force by air actually, the long-range bombers, aircrafts, we have missiles, long-range vectors, they all make geography irrelevant. You can target things at a vast kind of a distance, precision kind of strikes. Similarly, if you look at space, warfare is extended towards space. That again kind of makes geography, which is so important for past, in the history of mankind, it was so important till about a couple of years back, that again stands irrelevant because from space, that provides a total amount of transparency. Similarly, cyber and digital warfare, it operates in a kind of borderless, interconnected digital domain where distances, terrain, and boundaries are of no consequence at all. Attacks can originate anywhere in the world to target any kind of a command systems. So again, cyber is another domain which has got, the geography is not affected, the geography does not affect it at all. Similarly, cognitive warfare, cognitive operations target the human mind and transcend geography by occupying not ground, but perceptions. They influence beliefs, erode morale, incite unrest, manipulate leadership, and affect decisions. Hence, human geography, over here, while I said that, look, cognitive warfare does not have, geography does not actually can influence it, but maybe the distribution of population, which is human geography, maybe that will have some kind of an importance. But as I said earlier, that geography is important, so all these developments which I've spoken about, that hasn't really taken out complete sheen out of geography, and it does remain important in the context of, say, GIS maps or networks of cables which provide us that internet connectivity, where they are located, your data centers, etc. So some element of geography still remains important. So let me now talk about multi-domain operations and reframing of conflict. So the impact of technology. So we are having a look at, say, what I would be talking as a military strategy, which was largely influenced by geography in the past, and increasingly being eclipsed by technology presently. But the major impact of these technological developments, if I were to summarize, is three. One is, I can say, as death of distance. Second is demise of surprise. And third is disappearance of offensive maneuver. Because advent of this or emergence of this long-range aircraft, air-to-air refueling, long-range precision weapons, etc., and of late, you've seen the Russians fire this Burevestnik missile, which is a nuclear powered, or the Poseidon torpedoes, which are nuclear powered, and means hypothetically they can actually go without continuously for a very, very long time. And they have a kind of a global reach. So distances don't matter in today's warfare, which was an important element in, say, right up to 65 war, which you mentioned, sir. Similarly, surprise is no longer an element because you can see everything today. So, which was an important battle winning factor. Today, probably deception may be more important than surprise. So, whatever is visible, if you can deceive that, that becomes important. And third thing is disappearance of this offensive maneuver, because today anything that moves is visible, it can be tracked. If it is tracked, you can actually hit that. So, that is again a challenge. I am not saying that the basic principles of war in which you say offensive action, that remains. But offensive maneuver out of it, that particular part is becoming more and more questionable. So against this backdrop, the nature of war and warfare itself is changing. Multi-domain operations, integrated deployment of military capabilities across land, sea, air, space, cyber, and cognitive domains. They have actually expanded the aperture of strategy. Future battlefields are not going to be recognized by service boundaries. Integration, rapid decision making, and seamless exploitation of information are now keys to victory. India's joint doctrine for multi-domain operation recognizes that no domain can be siloed and no service can operate in isolation. Glimpses of what lies in the future actually was visible to a large extent during Operation Sindoor. And classically, these operations were entirely different from kind of wars which we fought, which Jalmau Shergill mentioned about, the 65 war. So they were in fact, obviously that blood, guts and glory, that kind of a factor was missing in these kind of operations. So they were multi-domain, they were integrated, they were a combination of kinetic as well as non-kinetic missions executed in a digitized kind of environment which are networked. And to some extent, in this particular operation, we also used artificial intelligence to understand future courses of action. So this particular war, this 4-day war, was entirely different kind of a war what we've been fought earlier, and it has set new benchmarks for conduct of war in future. India's operational success was predicated upon also indigenous technologies, integrated networks of diverse platforms. We have a plethora of platforms of indigenous as well as foreign countries. We're able to integrate all of them together. We've seen how geography influences, strategy and how it's becoming irrelevant. And now technology is probably taking a front seat and geography taking a back seat in understanding of strategy. We've seen how multi-domain operations are slightly different from all kind of operations that we have fought in past. Now let's take this whole context in what's happening geopolitically and where does India stand. So as far as the world has transitioned from bipolarity to unipolarity and now towards multipolar structures. Global alliances, once designed for ideological contest and containment, are now fluid, shaped by shifting priorities and immediate interest. Again, I would like to quote Tim Marshall, who says that geography doesn't argue, it simply asserts, reminding us that geography remains a living driver even as technology and shifting alliances change its deterministic kind of hold. So in this context, let's have a look at some geographical realities that face us. First is Indian Ocean region. I think that has emerged the world's primary maritime highway. The connectivity issues linking the largest manufacturing hub of East and Southeast Asia with the biggest energy producers of the Middle East and the fastest growing consumer markets of South Asia and the markets of the future, that's Africa. So I think Indian Ocean centrality as compared to the Pacific and Atlantic is going to remain. And whatever we see is that currently 80% of global maritime oil trade and nearly 1/3 of seaborne merchandise passes through these oceans, and this is likely to continue. Beyond trade and energy, the region underpins the world's digital and financial connectivity, hosting the darkest web of seabed-based communication cables linking Europe, Africa, and Asia. So that's again defines the centrality of Indian Ocean region. as compared to Pacific and Atlantic Ocean. So the importance of Indian Ocean is also well understood by bipolar powers like America and US. No wonder Americans from a Pacific command changed over to Indo-Pacific command. And China has also invested heavily in creating new infrastructure in countries like Pakistan and has established a network of strong bases and economic ties with countries in the region. And so geographically, I think the future says that Indian Ocean is going to remain as very, very important. And as I said earlier, India geographically employs a central position in this particular area. If you look at global geopolitics, India's geopolitical realities are defined by geography, demographic, and the strategic environment that surrounds us. It combines opportunities and constraints in equal measures. And some of the important things, if I were to summarize, were India is politically and socially quite stable. It's a vibrant democracy. It has a large population base and hence is one of the largest consumer markets. It has a very strong and credible military. And in the ongoing global geopolitical competition, in my view, India is the ultimate swing state, if you may say. The global balance of power can shift should it choose to align with the existing or emerging centers of power. So that, I think, is the importance of India geopolitically currently. Hence, the geographic centrality of India lies here. India stands at the crossroad of this contest, here to a geographic legacy of both heartland and rimland. Geopolitics, as I said earlier, makes us also the ultimate swing state. And India's, as I said earlier, geographically, our peninsular shape and centrality in the Indian Ocean region will be unmatched. India will also be a kind of an stabilizing force which can protect trade, data quotient, and balance rival powers in the Indian Ocean regions. So I believe that India must pursue a wholehearted national strategy which balances both continental security and its maritime ambitions. Indian Ocean strategy should leverage its peninsular geography, island depth, strategic outpost, and diplomatic standing to achieve regional stability and contest external coercion. In the end, only I would like to say that India stands at the confluence of heartland and rimland, straddling pivotal domains of Eurasia and the Indo-Pacific. Its population, technological prowess, and rapid economic growth position is the driver of global demand and innovation. Growing partnerships and interdependency, multi-aligned foreign policy allows us to engage with competing blocs. Hence, its tilt leverages technology to both exploit and overcome geography and projects its stabilizing power amid a multipolar world. So it depends on the imagination of a people as to how to leverage all this for India's future and growth. In the heartland and rimland and throughout the Indian Ocean, India's centrality is not just simply a matter of map, but is a lived reality, a strategic promise, and a beacon for global stability. Let's rededicate ourselves to this particular cause. That's all I had to say, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for your patient hearing.
Children, ladies and gentlemen, another round of big applause. What you perhaps do not know about the Chief of Defence Staff is that he's not only an action man, he thinks and writes, and is humble. The humble go much forward and are remembered. You will understand the meek inherit the world. He has written a number of books, and I'm glad he's done so, because all of us at one time or the other will leave for another world, but his thoughts will stay on. And I'm grateful to him for that, because unlike the proverbial Khansama, who has his recipes and takes them to his grave, it is not so in this case. Thank you so very much for having come here to this small festival that we have, and it's your generosity of deciding to come and visit us. Thank you, sir.
To commemorate this occasion, General T.S. Shergill will now present a memento of the Military Literature Festival to General Anil Chauhan as a token of our deep appreciation and respect. Thank you. No, that's it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sorry, I stole your spot.
Not at all. I'm very glad that you did.
These are all volunteers, sir. To help us everywhere. Leave everything aside.
We enjoyed very much. Yeah. Please stay seated. Please stay seated for a few minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next event, the closing ceremony and honoring of 65 veterans and their next of kin, will take place after a break of 30 minutes. Please pay attention. Kindly settle down again here at 11:45. Kindly pay attention. May I request 1965 war veterans, their next of kin, to kindly be seated. I'll call out the names, please. Wing Commander Ratan, Air Commodore S.M. Nagpal, Captain J.K. Sharma, Lieutenant Colonel C.S. Bawa, Major General J.K. Kapoor, Colonel Raj Sandhu, Captain J.S. Rathi, Brigadier S.S. Aluwalia, Colonel Gulshan, Brigadier N.L. Punia, Colonel Prithvi Singh, Major General Manmohan Singh, Brigadier M.S. Sohal, Colonel I.M. Sharma, Gupta, he is a gunner, Colonel R.L. Sharma, Colonel Sanan, Colonel R.S. Chima, Brigadier G.S. Sandhu, Lieutenant General G.S. Sihota, Lieutenant Colonel H.I.S. Dhaliwal, Brigadier M.S. Dulat, Brigadier S.S. Clare, Brigadier S.S. Sohal, Colonel Ranbir Singh Kang, Colonel Y.K. Behel, Brigadier Satjeet Singh, Brigadier Harwant Singh, Brigadier H.S. Chahal, Colonel S.S. Kalia, Brigadier Bhargav, Brigadier J.S. Hundal, Colonel Sukhdev, Colonel H.P. Singh, Brigadier S. Bedi, Brigadier O.S. Guraya, Brigadier Avtar Singh, Brigadier J.S. Fulka, Lieutenant Colonel H.S. Sarao, Brigadier Keshav Chandra, wife of Group Captain V.S. Pathania, Captain S.S. Abrol, and Captain Bhupinder Singh.
ये नाम है
N.K. Farwaha. नहीं यार नहीं एक MS है एक SS sir I can't forget पेन है
ये एक मिनट सर
बेटा पेन देंगे In addition to the names that I called out, it's Major General Salim Kalib, Lieutenant General Ratan Singh, daughter of Group Captain D.S. Manhas, Major General J.S. Kapoor, Colonel Satish Khanna, Lieutenant General Harwant Singh, Colonel Rampal, Major General Kulwant Singh, Commodore H.P.S. Shergill.
यस सर ब्रिगेडियर
Sampuran Singh.
ठीक है ये तो हो गया ना पूरा
हाँ जी
बस यही है बस
हो गया Calling out the names again, Wing Commander Ratan, Air Commodore Nagpal, Captain J.K. Sharma, Lieutenant Colonel Bawa, Major General Kapoor, Colonel Raj Sandhu, Captain Rathi, Brigadier Aluwalia, Colonel Gulshan, Brigadier Punia, Colonel Prithvi Singh, General Manmohan, Brigadier M.S. Sohal, Colonel I.M. Sharma, Colonel Gupta, Colonel R.L. Sharma, Colonel Sanan, Colonel R.S. Chima, Brigadier Sandhu, Lieutenant General Sihota, General Salim Caleb, General Ratan Singh, Group Captain D.S. Manhas, General J.S. Kapoor, Colonel Satish Khanna, General Harwant, Colonel Rampal, General Kulwant, Commodore H.P.S. Shergill, Brigadier N.K. Farwaha, Brigadier Sampuran Singh, Colonel K.J.S. Khurana, General A.S. Dillon, Colonel Dhaliwal, Brigadier Dulat, Brigadier Clare, Brigadier S.S. Sohal, Colonel Kang, Colonel Behel, Brigadier Satjeet, Brigadier Harwant, Brigadier Chehel, Colonel Kalia, Brigadier Bhargav, Brigadier Hundal, Colonel Sukhdev, Colonel H.P., Brigadier Bedi, Brigadier Guraya, Brigadier Avtar, Brigadier Fulka, Colonel Sarao, Brigadier Keshav Chandra, Group Captain Pathania, Captain Abrol, Captain Bhupinder, and General Pushpinder. It's yours? Check कर ले भी है ना ये. Ladies and gentlemen, children, please settle down. We are going to start in 5 minutes. May I request the ladies and gentlemen, the children next to the coffee corner to kindly settle down. All standing next to the coffee corner to kindly come and sit down. List of NOKA were taking mementos on behalf of MVC awardees during 1965 war. Brigadier San Singh, Major Bhupinder, Colonel MMS Bakshi, Naik Darshan Singh, Major General Caleb, Major General Rajinder Singh, Subedar Ajit, Major Baljit, Brigadier NS Sandhu, General Gurbaksh, Colonel Sangha, General Sibal, General Mohinder Singh, Colonel Sampuran Singh and Air Marshal P.P. Singh. Kindly settle down. The chief guest is already seated. May I request all next to the coffee counter to please come and settle down. Ladies and gentlemen, now we commence with the closing ceremony of the 9th edition of Military Literature Festival. We have amidst us Lieutenant General Ajay Chand Puria, AVSM, VSM, GOC 11 Corps as the chief guest today. Before we commence the proceedings, kindly settle down for a short film on 1965 Indo-Pakistan War.
चुंकार अज हमा हीलते दरगुज़श्त हलाल अस्त बुर्दन बशमशीर दस्त। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर पहला मौका नहीं था जब पाकिस्तान को अपने नापाक मंसूबों के कारण मुंह की खानी पड़ी। आज से 60 साल पहले सन 1965 में भी एक महायुद्ध लड़ा गया था जिसमें भारतीय सेना ने पाकिस्तान को घुटने टेकने पर मजबूर कर दिया था। यह शौर्य गाथा उसी महायुद्ध की है।
Territory, Pakistan lost very important Haji Pir Pass and also many areas in North Punjab which are adjoining Sialkot sector.
इस पराजय से बौखलाकर पाकिस्तान ने अखनूर की ओर नापाक नजर कर ऑपरेशन ग्रैंड स्लैम लॉन्च कर दिया। लेकिन इस बड़े हमले को भी भारतीय सेना ने नाकाम कर दिया। लेकिन अब भारत ने अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सीमा के पार जाकर शत्रु को धूल चटाने का फैसला कर लिया और लाहौर और सियालकोट तक भारी पलटवार कर पाकिस्तान के सभी चक्रव्यूह ध्वस्त कर दिए गए। बैटल्स ऑफ फिलौरा, उर्की और डोगरई एक एक करके लेफ्टिनेंट कर्नल A.B. तारापुरे जैसे महानायकों के साथ मिलकर भारतीय वीरों ने अपने शौर्य और पराक्रम से पाकिस्तान के हर मजबूत गढ़ को नेस्त नाबूद कर दिया। इधर खेमकरण में CQMH अब्दुल हमीद जैसे शूरवीरों ने पंजाब के खेतों में आधुनिक और अजेय माने जाने वाले अमेरिकी पैटर्न टैंकों की कब्रगाह बना डाली। सैकड़ों वर्ग किलोमीटर का इलाका भारत के नियंत्रण में आ चुका था। जब तक ताशकंद समझौते पर हस्ताक्षर हुए तब तक यह स्पष्ट हो चुका था कि भारत मौलिक रूप से तो एक शांति प्रिय देश है, परंतु जब कोई शत्रु भारत की एकता और अखंडता पर नजर डालेगा तो उसे बिना दंडित किए छोड़ा नहीं जाए, फिर चाहे वह 1965 का युद्ध हो या 2025 का ऑपरेशन सिंदूर।
I salute all brave soldiers of Western Command and Indian Army who participated in 1965 war and won us laurels. In 1965 and also in Operation Sindoor, we did not seek war, but were fully prepared to respond to the provocations and defeat the enemy decisively.
A quick 30-second video on as to what are the limits of an Indian soldier, specially meant for my friends sitting back, the young friends. Please see it.
Many years ago, when I was a brigade major in high altitude, two of us, the company commander and myself, had walked ahead and we were sitting down to a cup of tea. He asked me a question. He said, "Now, what is the limit of an Indian soldier?" I was fresh out of staff college, so I gave him all the usual staff answers of loads, distances, and measured toughness. He kept shaking his head till I asked him. I said, "Purushottam, why don't you tell me?" And he said, "Now, the limit of an Indian soldier is the limit of his officer." Now that is true.
May I request the chairman to accompany the chief guest onto the stage, please. Good afternoon, Jai Hind. On behalf of Military Literature Festival Association Chandigarh, we extend a hearty welcome to our chief guest, Lieutenant General Ajay Chand Puria, AVSM VSM GOC 11 Corps, eminent panelists, speakers, participants, esteemed veterans and their next of kin of 1965 war, members of the media, young friends from schools and colleges across region. Military Literature Festival Chandigarh, the one and only of its kind in the country, is a joint venture of Punjab government, Chandigarh administration and Headquarter Western Command. The inaugural festival was held at this very location during 2017, and the 9th edition of MLF is now in its closing stages. General Shergill, Chairman MLF, will tell you more about this. General Shergill has commanded a division in J&K, a corps in Northeast, and was later Commandant Indian Military Academy. Earlier, he served as a defense attaché in United States of America and was the Indian High Commissioner at London. On retirement, he was appointed Chairman Punjab Public Service Commission and later served as the Senior Advisor to the Chief Minister of Punjab. Popularly, affectionately called Mao, he is the founder chairman of Military Literature Festival Association. General Shergill.
General, I'm so glad that you've come here because you're commanding a corps where the most major battles of 1965 were fought. Towards Lahore, towards Kasur, and also towards Dera Baba Nanak. It was all under 11 Corps. When I stand here, I'm actually humbled by all of you, my course mates, and people who are a little older, because what I can say is that I was 20 years old when all this happened, and so those who claim to be younger should raise their hand. The rest of you have to be older than me to have taken part in this war. And I'm so delighted to see you. I really am delighted. And thank you for coming. And some of you have come along with your spine, and that is your wife. And I salute all of you, all the ladies who stood by us all these years, because you have been the strength behind us, with us. We have been doing our duty, but you have followed the drum and pushed us forward. Thank you for coming. And this war, as you well know, and I know some who were in my sector, Tom's there, and some of us were very young. I confess, there were times when we were very scared, but you had to get on with it. And it is a war where the senior commanders had all seen a different kind of war. On a great measure, in North Africa, from El Alamein to Tunis was 2,000 miles. From the tip of Italy to Rome was 920 miles. From Kohima to Rangoon was 1,200 miles. And of course, further down to Singapore was much, much more. So the war on a huge canvas and a long duration was what they had seen. So when the higher commanders did their planning, I do feel that they were thinking of a war that's going to carry on and on. And in front of the maps, which were covered with this polythene paper, they were using China graph pencils. And so the arrows that they were plotting were deep into Pakistan, and from the other side too, because they had seen the same battles and the same wars. their lines were also very long, going deep into India. You have to remember that on both sides, there were DSOs, there were military crosses, and there were mentions in dispatches. And at that time, if you had won 3 mentioned in dispatches, you got a DSO. So there were people who had been in battle, but at a lower level. During the Second World War, we had only 3 brigadiers: Bogi Sen, Thorat, and Timaya. And they were all decorated with the DSO. So now you are here in a battle where people will think very big, but without those resources. And as I brought out earlier, their object was Kashmir, but the people rose against them. And for that, I will always salute the people of Kashmir. In the desert, in the Rann of Kutch, there was a kind of a war, but it was on a smaller scale. It was happily avoided because at that time, the British High Commissioner in India, he was mediating, and on the 3rd of July, 1965, a ceasefire came about. And in that ceasefire, apart from withdrawing from those areas, there was another thing which was mentioned, and which was what we call the Ichugil Canal. The Ichugil Canal, as you know, was built as a part of the Indus Water Treaty by common money of both India and Pakistan. And under the terms of the treaty, this was not to be used as a line of defense. You couldn't build up bunkers and so on and so forth, defensive entrenchments. And after the ceasefire in Kutch, the Pakistanis were told that you have to remove the bunkers and various defensive measures that you put on the Ichugil Canal. Nevertheless, on the 1st of September, Grand Slam, they came to Chamjordia. And what is amazing is that it's as late as the 3rd of September that the government decided to have war aims, as late as that. And so war aims were cobbled up. Don't worry, it happens everywhere, right? So those war aims were cobbled up, and some of them could have seemed peculiar to those who had to go to battle. One, of course, was simple, which was push the Pakistanis out of Kashmir and teach them a lesson so that they never come back. The second was to carry out such attrition that you destroy a majority of the weapons and weapon systems that they had recently got from USA. The third was a tricky one. Take only so much territory as you need to carry out the destruction. Now, how that measure was going to be got across by the commanders and the people on the ground, nobody thought of. And the fourth was something that you won't see today in the future. The Air Force was not allowed to bomb any population centers. And that is happening today. It'll happen tomorrow. So it was still a warrior's war. And there were friends across the border, people who had been in the same battalions, in the same regiments. I remember when we were in Asalota, 4 Armored Brigade of the 1st Armored Division, moving on the Western Front. It was commanded by Brigadier Tony Lumb. as Captain Tony Lum, he had been part of my regiment, the Deccan Horse, in the Burma operations. A spirit of warriorhood. We had to get the job done, and we did. You know, they would be asking you, because a number of people have come out with a saying that it was a stalemate. How do you judge a stalemate? Is it based upon the land you've occupied? A conquest? Is it based upon the amount of attrition you've caused? Or is it based upon something that is in front of you on paper, war aims? And what are the opposing war aims? To take Kashmir, that was one. And also, apart from taking Kashmir as it is, to trust right up to Akhnur and then follow up to Jammu. At the operational level, it was to come through Kasur and get around Amritsar, taking the bridges at Harike, taking the bridge at Beas. You all know that did not happen. As far as we were concerned, we stopped them. We carried out great attrition. In the Patton Nagar that had been brought together at Bhikiwind, there were 97 A vehicles, that's tanks and in those days armored protected vehicles. In the Sialkot sector, there were 196 tanks that were shot. And that was a considerable amount. For example, in Khemkaran, 4 cavalry of Pakistan ceased to exist. And 6 lancers and 24 cavalry were whittled down. They were down to just about a squadron and a half each. In the Sialkot sector, these are, old regiments, 10 Guides Cavalry, 11 PAVO, ceased to exist by 16th September. 25 cavalry that fought very valiantly during the war was reduced to 6 tanks. And so for us it was a big victory. But what is more important is in doing this, you do not lose too much. And in both sectors, that was so. And the curtain came down. Many of us, after some time, came home. Others did not. And they are the ones that we remember. I think each one of you, in your mind's eye, would still be able to see your soldiers as they were then. And sometimes you would think of them and imagine that they were still with you. And today we've got together, not in sadness, not in sorrow, but in joy, with a simple fact that we are still alive. We've been blessed. We've come into this age and we're still walking about, although some of you have become armored and you've got your carriages, moving up and down. But here we are, after so many years, all together again. And each one of you, I salute you. Thank you for coming, and your wives.
Now we'll have a book launch. Book written by Lieutenant General Raj Sujlana, Peasants to Soldiers. May I request General Sujlana to kindly come up. Thank you, sir. Now we get on with the facilitation ceremony for 1965 war heroes. Their next of kin are here. And we'll start with the MVC awardees. May I request GOC 11 Corps to kindly move down. Yeah. Now for the units and the next of kin of MVC awardees, the silver salver will be sent to their respective units. However, the shawls will be presented here by the chief guest. Brigadier Sant Singh, 5 Sikh Alai, Major Pranav Tiwari is here. Major Bhupinder, Hodson's Horse, Colonel MMS Bakshi, Hodson's Horse, the Commandant Hodson's Horse is here. Naik Darshan Singh, 5 Sikh Alai. Major General Caleb, 3rd Cavalry, Major Abhishek Sharma. Major General Rajinder Singh Sparrow, 7th Cavalry, his son is the chairman MLFA. General T.S. Shergill. Subedar Ajit Singh, 4 Sikh. Major Bansett is here. Major Baljit Singh, 4 Rajput, Lieutenant Colonel Mohan Singh. Brigadier N.S. Sandhu, 10 Dogra, Major Ravi Kant. Lieutenant General Gurbaksh Singh. Colonel G.S. Sangha from 3 Mahar, the MBC battalion. There is a healthy presence of representatives of the unit here. Brigadier Farwaha, Colonel S.K. Rampal, Mrs. Inderjeet Kaur, wife of later Major Mohinder Singh, and Brigadier H.S. Barar. Major Gaurav and the SM of the battalion is here. General Sibal, 15GR. Major Ashik. General Mohinder Singh, 22 Medium Regiment. Subedar Jagmohan. Brigadier Sampuran Singh, 19 Punjab. Next of kin, Mrs. Balwinder Kaur. And Air Marshal P.P. Singh. Next of kin, Miss Anita Manhas, his niece is here. Okay, now we get on with the veterans and the next of kin of 1965 war. Wing Commander Ratan. Air Commodore Nagpal. Air Commodore Nagpal. Captain J.K. Sharma, 6'6". Lieutenant Colonel Bawa. Colonel Raj Sandhu. Captain R. J. Rathi. Brigadier SS Aluwalia, Colonel Gulshan, Brigadier Punia, Colonel Pirthi Singh, Major General Manmohan Singh, Brigadier MS Sohal, Colonel IM Sharma, Colonel DP Gupta, Colonel RL Sharma, Colonel Sanan, Colonel RS Chima, Brigadier GS Sandhu, Lieutenant General GS Sehota, Major General Salim Caleb, General Ratan Singh, Group Captain DS Minhas, है आ रहा नहीं नहीं अलग है वो मेजर जनरल JS कपूर, कर्नल सतीश खन्ना, General Harwant Singh, I can see General Harwant sitting here. Colonel Rampal, General Kulwant, Commodore HPS Shergill, Brigadier N.K. Farwaha, Brigadier Brigadier Sampuran, Brigadier Sampuran Singh, Brigadier Sampuran Singh, Colonel K.J.S. Khurana, General A.S. Dillon, Lieutenant Colonel H.I.S. Dhaliwal, Pune House, Brigadier M.S. Dulat, Brigadier S.S. Clare, Brigadier S.S. Sohal, Colonel Ranbir Kang, Colonel Y.K. Behel, Brigadier Satjit Singh, Brigadier Harwant Singh, Brigadier H.S. Chahal, Colonel Kalia, yeah, Brigadier Chahal is there. Colonel Kalia, Brigadier Bhargav, Brigadier Jasbir Hundal, Colonel Sukhdev Singh, Colonel H.P. Singh, Brigadier A.S. Bedi, Brigadier O.S. Guraya, Brigadier Avtar Singh, Brigadier J.S. Fulka, Lieutenant Colonel H.S. Sarao, Brigadier Keshav Chandra, Brigadier Keshav Chandra, Group Captain V.S. Pathania, Captain S.S. Abrol, Captain Bhupinder Singh, and Major General Pushpendra Singh. Yeah, Major Mohinder Singh, 3 Mahar. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. May I request the chief guest and the chairman to kindly come up and settle down on the stage. Come. Please sit. Lieutenant General Ajay Chandpuria belongs to the Dogra Regiment. He commanded 3 Dogra during Op Rhino in Northeast. He's commanded a Rashtriya Rifle sector in J&K and the Dagger Division along the LC in Kashmir Valley. He's a graduate of Defence Services Staff College, has been through CDM and the NDC. May I now request him to kindly share some thoughts.
At the outset, it gives me a great privilege and I think quite overwhelming an experience to be standing in front of such an illustrious gallery of Gallantry Award winners and their next of kins, both the veterans as also the serving. We have a large number of serving Gallantry Award winners, so may I request you all to please join me in giving a round of applause to each one of them. Thank you very much. Also, I'm conscious of the large number of veterans, serving personnel. We have school children, college students, and also from the service selection board, training academies who have come here. Friends from the media, and of course, we have a very friendly and warm delegation from the United Kingdom. So a very warm welcome to each one of you. To the organizing committee, Jan Shergill, Jan Chetender who's here, and the other executive body members, thank you so very much for giving this privilege and this opportunity. I think it's once in a lifetime experience. And as luck would have it, what a coincidence, I was a company commander in Palamala. Jan Shergill was my GOC. I have commanded the Baramulla division, and here I am part of the Vajra Corps, which had the privilege of being at the forefront of 1965 operations. So thank you very much for each of this. It's also my second time at the Military Lit Fest. Last year I attended this, but the kind of transformation that I see, or the evolution I would say, is quite remarkable. It's been told to you 2017 onwards, 9 editions, 6 here, 3 in Patiala, and now the news of it also proliferating or expanding to Amritsar. I think that's most welcome news, sir. Thank you so very much. I think as we reach out, the importance of Punjab as a border state and in the annals of military history, I don't think I need to emphasize it to the audience here, but this initiative of Punjab government and the Western Command, and the fact that each one of the people who work for the Military Lit Festival are all volunteers. So I think a huge round of applause for the fantastic effort and the result there. So thank you so very much, sir. Right, multifaceted aims. I was, when I read the program this year, unfortunately I couldn't attend the first 2 days. Last year I was privileged to attend, but the entire range from strategic issues, operational to tactical, and then you have the exhibitions of paintings, stamp, food court, the exhibition of weapons, some simulator systems. I think to have the entire spectrum from the strategic level to the elementary level to be covered in one ecosystem is really very creditable, and the very large number of people who have come and attended this festival over the last 3 days, I think is testimony to the real aim and the success of this endeavor, sir. So thank you very much for doing this human service, sir, both to the country and the armed forces and the people of Punjab. So thank you very much, sir. I would like to also thank all the distinguished speakers and the panelists who took part in this. I think in the closing ceremony, the Chief of Defence Staff set the stage when he emphasized the importance of the linkage of history and geography. The fact is that strategy, economy and politics have a prefix of geo in that. I think emphasizes the importance of geography and hence the relevance of the theme of the rimland and heartland. I was just talking to some of my friends that in today's world of diffuse multilateralism, what are we facing? So maybe if I was to just put it in one frame, it is military-wise, we have a unipolar world as of now. Economy-wise, maybe a bipolar world. Influence-wise, a multipolar world. But in technology, we have a many-polar world, that even one individual, one entity sitting in some obscure part could have a profound impact on the way the nation states or even the international bodies which conduct business around that. So I think very interesting themes, very relevant themes. And of course, the fact that it covered the canvas from Maharaja Ranjit Singh's empire to the global and regional scan of the day, national and sub-national issues, gives great relevance to what we are facing in today's times. Ladies and gentlemen, as we look to an India which is now poised at that inflection point and aspires to be a developed nation wherein it wants peace and well-being for its people and for the globe at large, the role of military and armed forces, I think, has changed from territorial integrity to safeguarding of national interests. And I think that was all too evident. The capabilities and capacities are working towards that. I would also like to place on record and thank the people of Punjab, the civil administration here, for the kind of bonhomie and the cooperation we saw during Operation Sindoor 1.0 was absolutely unprecedented. So a very round of applause to the fantastic people of Punjab. When we used to read about things like whole of society or whole of nation approach, I think what I saw in the run up to the month of May, specifically on the civil defense exercise of 7th of May, and then what happened till the 10th of May, and subsequently which continues to be on, is from the youngest of child to the oldest of people. Every citizen is a warrior, and like it was covered by General Shergill, that everybody has a role to contribute to the defense of the nation, and nobody does it better than Punjab. So thank you so very much. I would also like to just emphasize that Operation Sindoor is not yet over. We have multifarious challenges, being a border state, a long international border, many rivers coming here. I think we are all conscious of the challenges that confront us, and not too friendly a neighborhood in both China and Pakistan. But the fact is that Operation Sindoor exhibited the changing character of war, which was alluded by General Shergill also, that going from the erstwhile contact or hand-to-hand fight, from there to have evolved to a place wherein maybe predominantly we are looking at kinetic but non-contact kind of a warfare. If what happened as a ceasefire on 10th of May does not hold, we are very conscious that the next phase of defense will have to be much higher, and land remains the currency of victory, and there is no doubt about it. So at the end, I would like to thank the executive body of Military Lit Festival once again, wish them the very best, the Union Territory, the state of Punjab, the formations here who have contributed to the background work here, the large number of volunteers who have all come together here, and in special, all the heroes, the past, the present and the future, who are sitting there in the galleries as students of various schools and academies. I wish you and your families all the very best. May we all contribute to making India great in giving goodwill and peace to its people and getting peace for the world. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, General. Yeah, we'll request the chairman to present him an MLF memento. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please remain seated. I'll request Colonel Tejinder Dhaliwal, OIC, MLFA, to kindly take over.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly settle down for the presentation ceremony of the organizers and all the volunteers who participated towards the success of 9th Military Literature Festival. Please settle down. All the persons who are going to be awarded the memento, I'll request you to kindly shift to the second and the third row and the fourth row. We start the proceedings. We will be awarding memento, which is the portfolio on Sikh Empire, to all our members who supported us. We start with YPS Mohali, Yadavendra Public School Mohali, Simar Sanyal, JS Sodi, Kudrat Kohli and Mansi. These are the students. Please give an applause for Major General TPS Shergill, 3PS Baraj. He is the director of IPS Mohali, and 5 students and 6 teachers. They helped us in the conduct of the festival, and they were doing ushering duties and registration. Now I invite Brigadier P. Acharya, BGS SD, Western Command, to kindly come and receive the prize. SD branch of Western Command is the nodal agency which connects MLFA with the Western Command. Brigadier Acharya is not here. On his behalf, Subedar Tarseem Singh will receive the prize. Colonel S. Pathak, Colonel GS SD, Western Command. Colonel Brijesh Upadhyay. Colonel Brijesh Upadhyay. After that, we have the serving army officers who are winner of gallantry awards, and they had come from the Western Command zone, and they spoke to the children in the event of Sambad. Lieutenant Colonel Sushant Sharma, Sena Medal 1 DASR, please come. Colonel Abhishek Bahel, Sena Medal 605 Brigade Workshop, Armored Brigade Workshop. Colonel Abhishek Bahel is here. Major Neil Silas Lobo, Sena Medal 8 Light Cavalry. Somebody from his unit can come and receive on his behalf. Major D.V. Basnet, Kirti Chakra, 4 Sikh. Major D.V. Basnet has won Kirti Chakra in some of the most difficult conditions for the action he led, and he is an inspiration for the young boys and girls. Please give a round of applause. Major Basnet, Kirti Chakra, 4 Sikh. Lieutenant Arvind Chauhan, 8 Madras. Lieutenant Arvind Chauhan, mentioned in dispatches 8 Madras. Now I invite the officials from the Department of Tourism, Government of Punjab, Shri Damanjeet Walia, Deputy Director, please come. Ms. Sheetal Bahel, Director Projects. Shri Damanjeet Walia is the Deputy Director with the Punjab Government, Department of Tourism, and they have supported us in providing the finances and the grants for the conduct of the festival. Ms. Sheetal Bahel, she is manager of the projects of Punjab Tourism, and she had installed all the 36 food stalls in the last 3 days, and they had become very popular. Ms. Sheetal Bahel. Shri Gurjeet Singh. Shri Gurlal Singh, in all the work of the MLFA in the government, they have always supported us. They were very prompt in forwarding all the communications. Shri Gurjeet Singh, he is a field artist with the Department of Tourism, Government of Punjab. Dr. Abhinav Trikha, IAS, Secretary Tourism of Punjab. Dr. Abhinav Trikha, he heads the Department of Tourism and Cultural Affairs. I think today is not here. On his behalf, Abhinav will be collecting the prize. Dr. Abhinav Trikha. Dr. Sanjeev Tiwari, IAS, Director Tourism, Government of Punjab. Dr. Sanjeev Tiwari is not here, so in his place, Manjeet Singh is receiving the prize. Thank you very much, Department of Tourism, for supporting us. Now, military equipment display, Colonel R.S. Negi, CO 16 Sikh. Major Shaurya, in charge of weapon display, 16 Sikh. I think CO 16 Sikh is not here. So you can mementos. Thank you very much, CO R.S. Negi, Colonel R.S. Negi, CO 16 Sikh. Now for the military horse show and the military dog show, Lieutenant Colonel Jaipal Chauhan and Risaldar Rakesh Yadav, Dog Demo Unit, RBC Center, Meerut. The military dog show and the military horse show was the most popular show all around. And please give a huge round of applause. The military dogs and military horses, they have given a wonderful display. Major Khajuria, AD Regiment. Now we come to the Lake Sports Complex. Lake Sports Complex is the venue of the thing here. Mr. Saurabh Arora, IAS, Director Sports. I think he's not here. General Manager of the Lake Club, Mr. Sanjay Sharma. Mr. Sanjay Sharma is the GM of this Lake Sports Complex, and he supported us in all the activities we wanted to do here within the rules and the regulations. Mrs. Mona. And Mr. Inder, Supervisor. Mrs. Mona is working at the Lake Club and she supported us at all times for the smooth conduct of documentation. Mr. Inder, he is the ground supervisor. He helped us in maintaining the grounds for the horse show and the dog show. He worked day and night. Thank you very much. Now we come to Defence Services Welfare. Brigadier B.S. Dhillon, I think is not here. Colonel Jarnail Singh. Brigadier Dhillon, आप रिसीव करो, आप पहले जाओ तो सही ना. Please give a round of applause for Brigadier B.S. Dhillon. He is the Director DSW. He is not here today, but he has always supported us. Mr. Anil Gupta, Defence Services Welfare. He has done all the work for receiving the guests, outstation guests, detailment of the transport, CHT, detailment of LOs. NCC, Kushav Rathod, Vice Principal, Lakshmi Tara Rathod Public School, Mohali, and Tushar Sharma, ANO. The NCC boys and girls from Lakshmi Tara Rathod Public School, Mohali, they have helped us a lot in guidance of visitors, guidance of guests, and whenever there was an urgency. ENO Tushar, he worked with us last year also, a very dynamic NCC officer, and he was always on the move helping us. The Tribune Trust, Miss Jyoti Malhotra, Editor-in-Chief, The Tribune. I think she is not here today. We will send a memento to the office. Stamp display, Mr. Vinod Seth. Mr. Vinod Seth, stamp display. He is not here. Graphic designer, Amrita Dhami. After that, we have our elite team of anchors, Miss Aradhika Sharma. Miss Aradhika Sharma, she is our star announcer and a great MC. Now the prize is being given to Amrita Dhami. She is the graphic designer. She made all the invitation cards, logos and the banners. Miss Parneet Shergill. Colonel Ashish Bedi, he is one of our anchors. Colonel Ashish Bedi is not here. Colonel Avnish Sharma. Colonel Avnish Sharma has done multifarious roles of Clarion Call Theatre, and he conducted the proceedings when the governor was here. Please give a huge round of applause. Dr. Gurinder Singh Josan, Chairman, World Saragadi Foundation. The World Saragadi Foundation is supporting us at all times, and we have the chairman of the foundation with us. Dr. Gurinder Singh Josan. He is working very hard for the Sikh identity and the Sikh culture. Now the Military Literature Festival Office, Mr. Harpreet Singh. Mr. Harpreet Singh is the accountant of office with me, and he is ex-artillery, and he's maintained all the accounts. Whatever grant in aid we received from the government, he is maintaining it very well. Sukhdev Saini. Sukhdev Saini is our computer operator, graphic designer, all in one, and he's done an excellent job. Mr. Rohit. Mr. Sandeep Singh. And now I invite the team MLF one by one, all the volunteers who have worked day and night to make this event successful. Lieutenant General T.S. Shergill, PVSM Chairman. I'll request General Chitender to kindly come on stage and award his well-deserved memento. Lieutenant General Chitender Singh. Next in line, Lieutenant General Chitender Singh. He is the Vice Chairman of the association. He is based at Patiala, but is always available to us. Lieutenant General J.S. Chima, PVSM, AVSM, VSM. Retired Deputy Chief of Army Staff, and he is from the elite Sikh regiment. He helped us in all the spheres, especially outreach to universities and colleges. Brigadier J.S. Arora, retired. He is our secretary cum treasurer. He is not here. Mr. Mandeep Bajwa, historian. Mrs. Komal Chadda. Miss Komal Chadda, she has organized the painting display in a very, very befitting manner, and it was always crowded, the stalls, and she is a volunteer, always willing to help us. Major General Harvijay Singh, Sena Medal. Major General A.P. Singh. Brigadier D.S. Sarao, in charge philately. Colonel Iqbal Singh Arora is posted in the Western Command, and he is in charge of the media, and he has done a great job with us. He has projected the MLFA in a very, very befitting manner in the outside world. Brigadier Arora, Mrs. Arora is here. The last memento, myself, Colonel T.S. Dhaliwal. With this, we come to the end of the presentation ceremony. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us. We will see you next year, November 26, when we do the 10th edition of Military Literature Festival. Thank you. Please stay on. The presentation ceremony is not complete. We request the Major General Sir to please come, British Army, and to receive a memento. All members of the British delegation kindly come on the stage. I'm sorry I don't have your names now, but we apologize for this delay. Major General from the British Army, they came here all the way for 3 days from UK. Please give a round of applause. Their coming has also fostered the Indo-British relations at the political level also. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The presentation ceremony is over, and thank you for being with us.